It all unfolded in a clip from the Kardashians that felt jarringly real. We see Kim, a woman whose image is controlled down to the last detail, being slid into an MRI scanner. The scene then cuts. She's on the phone, her voice stripped of its usual confidence. "There was a little aneurysm," she says. On the other end, her sister Kourtney's reaction is a wide-eyed, breathless whoa, summing up the shock pretty much everyone felt. Later, the polished composure is completely gone, replaced by a tearful, desperate question: why the F is this happening? The news was revealed during the season 7 premiere of The Kardashians, a show often built on manufactured drama, but this felt terrifyingly real. Kim Kardashian, the mogul and mother, had been diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. It wasn't found because of some dramatic collapse or sudden symptom. Instead, it was an incidental finding on a routine scan, which somehow made it even more chilling. A discovery made in passing that suddenly carried life or death stakes. Her family's reaction was immediate and raw. Khloe's surprise showed just how private Kim's battle had been. This wasn't a storyline, it was a crisis. The show captured the fear and confusion that follows a life-altering diagnosis. For a family that has lived its entire life on camera, this was a moment where the line between public spectacle and private terror vanished. The world wasn't just watching a celebrity, it was watching a woman confront her own mortality. After Kim's reveal, everyone started asking, what exactly is a brain aneurysm? The term sounds scary, but what does it mean? A neurosurgeon perfectly described it as being like a weak spot on a garden hose that balloons out. It's a bulge in the wall of a blood vessel in the brain that fills with blood, and they're surprisingly common. It's estimated that about 1 in 50 people in the US has an unruptured brain aneurysm, meaning millions are walking around completely unaware they have one. Most of these are small and don't cause any symptoms, often discovered by chance during a scan for something else, just like Kim's. The real danger is the risk of a rupture. If that weak, ballooned wall breaks, it causes bleeding in the brain, known as a hemorrhagic stroke. A ruptured aneurysm is a massive medical emergency, often announced by a sudden, excruciating headache that patients call the worst headache of their life or a thunderclap headache. The results can be catastrophic, leading to brain damage or even death. Some of the biggest risk factors for developing one are high blood pressure, a family history of aneurysms, and smoking. Even if an aneurysm never ruptures, just living with that knowledge can be like living with a ticking clock, or any headache can trigger a wave of panic. Of course, the big question is, why? Why her? According to Kim, her doctors gave her a one-word explanation: stress. While medical experts are quick to clarify that stress isn't a direct cause, they acknowledge it's a major contributor. Chronic stress can raise your blood pressure, and high blood pressure is a huge risk factor for both forming and rupturing an aneurysm. And few people live under the kind of constant, high-stakes stress that Kim Kardashian does. She directly connected the diagnosis to the strain of her public divorce from Kanye West. She talked about feeling the need to super protect her children from the fallout and revealed her psoriasis, an autoimmune issue known to flare up under pressure, had returned. In a stunning admission, she said she felt like she had a Stockholm syndrome during the relationship, pulling back the curtain on the private pain behind the public persona. She described a life of constant uncertainty, where her ex-husband's erratic behavior left her on edge. This wasn't just the normal stress of a tough breakup, it was a life lived in a pressure cooker. Her diagnosis serves as a stark reminder that the weight of a public life, the constant judgment and personal heartbreak played out on a global stage, has a physical price. The body, as they say, keeps the score. Discovering the aneurysm was just the start of a new, nerve-wracking journey. For a small aneurysm like Kim's, the standard approach isn't immediate surgery but watchful waiting. As shown on The Kardashians, this means a series of MRIs and other scans to monitor the aneurysm's size and shape. Doctors look for any growth that might signal a higher risk of rupture. This waiting period is its own kind of mental game. You're not technically sick, but you're living with a potential time bomb in your head. Every decision is filtered through a new lens of risk. For Kim, this meant facing the terrifying what-ifs. What if it grows? What if it ruptures? The symptoms of a rupture, that sudden thunderclap headache, blurred vision, or confusion, become a checklist of fears. The show confirmed that doctors didn't believe she was in immediate danger and that her condition seemed manageable. But manageable isn't the same as easy. It means living with a new layer of vulnerability and putting your trust in doctors and technology, showing up for every scan hoping for good news. It's a journey defined by deep uncertainty, where your health depends on a tiny, silent bulge staying exactly as it is. A diagnosis like this changes you. you. It forces you to re-evaluate what really matters. For Kim Kardashian, this health scare seems to have brought a new awareness of her own fragility and a renewed focus on her well-being. The goal isn't always a cure. For many with unruptured aneurysms, it's about finding a way to live with the knowledge a new normal. We've seen this before, right? A public figure shares their health crisis and turns a private struggle into a public message of hope. By sharing her diagnosis, Kim has shifted the story from shock and fear to one of proactive health management. She's become an unintentional advocate for health awareness. Her experience drives home a universal truth: health is the ultimate wealth. No amount of fame or success can protect you from a random medical diagnosis. In the end, priorities get reshuffled. Family, peace, and mental health suddenly move to the top of the list. The real story here isn't about the aneurysm itself. It's about how she chooses to live with it. It's about embracing a new perspective that values self-care and cherishes the present, a lesson that resonates far beyond the world of celebrity. So what's the big takeaway from Kim Kardashian's story? It's a powerful reminder that behind even the most public face is a person dealing with the same fears and frailties as anyone else. Her journey, from the shocking reveal to the quiet burden of uncertainty, demystifies a condition that affects millions and highlights the very real link between extreme stress and our physical health. By sharing her story, she turned a moment of private fear into a massive public service announcement. This isn't just about a celebrity health scare, it's a call to action for all of us. It's a nudge to listen to our bodies, take our stress seriously, and put our health first. If you've been putting off a checkup, maybe this is the sign you needed. And just as importantly, it's a reminder to be kinder to the people around you. You never really know what silent battles they're fighting.